October 7, 2023 was a day that shattered countless lives. On that day, Hamas launched a coordinated assault into southern Israel, rockets, raids, and dramatic casualty numbers. The attack was sudden, brutal, and unprecedented in recent memory. Israel responded with overwhelming force, airstrikes, a ground invasion, and tightening blockades. Thus began a war whose effects still ripple in every ruined home, every hungry child, every record of a missing person. Suffering in Gaza is not new. Long before October came, there was blockade, economic strangulation, restrictions on movement, electricity, water, youth with no jobs, entire generations born knowing occupation, uncertainty, and the threat of violence, whole neighborhoods rebuilt over the rubble of previous conflicts, always under threat again. Emotions, anger, fear, grief lay just beneath the surface. The war did not create that history, it exploded it. When the bombings began, everything fragile broke. The war's destructive power was immediate. Buildings crumbled, hospitals, schools, water pipelines, civilian infrastructure, piece after piece was battered. According to multiple reports, over 90% of homes across Gaza have been damaged or destroyed. Nearly all public infrastructure, schools, health centers damaged. The death toll is massive, and it is overwhelmingly civilians. Women, elderly, children, those least capable of fleeing, least capable of defending themselves. Tens of thousands killed. For example, more than 67,000 Palestinians have died over the 2 years of this conflict, most civilians, thousands more injured, many maimed, many facing lifelong disabilities, hospitals overwhelmed, many out of service, doctors operating without supplies, without power, families waiting for medicine that never arrives. Displacement has become a way of life. Nearly the entire population of Gaza has been forced to flee, at least once if not more. Over 1.9 million people have been displaced inside Gaza. Neighborhoods once filled with laughter now echo with the sound of footsteps on rubble. Tents, makeshift shelters in schools or on buildings crowded, cold, inefficient. Sanitation breaks down, water is poisoned or scarce, disease spreads, food and water, medicine, these basics of life became luxuries. And humanitarian agencies report famine conditions in parts of Gaza. Over 54,600 children under age 5 estimated to be severely malnourished. Pregnant women, elderly, those with chronic illnesses, they suffer more when health systems collapse, when aid trucks cannot enter, when borders and crossings are closed or restricted. The war has also frustrated education, erased tens of thousands of school days. Children who once had pencils, books, classrooms, teachers now study amidst dust or in tents or not at all. Schools turned into shelters, then hit. Hope for tomorrow becomes fragile when the path of learning is blocked. In the first months, northern Gaza bore the heaviest brunt, dense population, proximity to conflict zones. Many fled southwards, but even the south became a trap. Borders tightened, crossings restricted, aid delayed. Winter came cold. Shelters leaked. Power outages meant no heating, no refrigeration, no way to preserve food or medicines. The everyday becomes dangerous, each hour a fight for survival. Psychological trauma is everywhere, not just the fear of bombs, though that alone would be enough. Mothers losing children, children losing parents, siblings, friends, people unable to sleep for nights for fear a strike will come. Grief over someone missing, do they live or are they buried under rubble? Memories burned by fire, the dead by night, survivors by daylight, and then the guilt, survivors' guilt, memories they cannot erase. Life becomes ours, stitched together by hope that tomorrow will be better, by prayers that no more bodies will arrive. Why did the war start? The trigger was Hamas's October 7th attack, but beneath that moment lie years of unresolved grievances. Gaza had been under blockade since 2007, restrictions on imports and exports, on movement, on trade, the economy crippled, youth without jobs, dependence on aid, repeated clashes, political isolation. These pressures built resentment. Hamas also cited occupation, encroachment, the status of Jerusalem, punitive measures. Israel cited rocket attacks, threat to its towns, and the need for security. Diplomacy failed repeatedly. Ceasefires came and broke. Each side perceived existential threat. So when October 7th came, it was not detonation of something new, it was eruption of something long suppressed. Even after the fighting, even in the pauses, Gaza's suffering continues. The destruction must be cleared, an estimated 54 million tons of rubble across Gaza. Rebuilding will take years, possibly a decade or more. The UN estimates at least $50 billion required, homes to rebuild, lives to reconstruct, but aid cannot heal trauma. Rebuilding infrastructure does not immediately bring clean water, does not erase the screams, does not bring back lost children. Economically, Gaza is devastated. The GDP has plunged, unemployment soared from already high levels into catastrophic levels, poverty exploded. The middle class, those who once had small businesses, shops, jobs in services, many now displaced, jobless, reliant on aid. Inflation, prices of food, fuel, cooking gas skyrocketed. Money loses value. Markets collapse. There is no industry. Trade nearly stopped. Import restrictions further choke off supply of essentials. Social fabric is torn. Communities split. Trust eroded. Neighbors missing. Families broken. Normal life vanished. Weddings, celebrations, funerals, every social ritual overshadowed by risk, religious ceremonies disrupted, holidays hollowed, every sound of a drone overhead brings panic, every knock, every siren, every blackout sparks fear. As the war drags on, people wonder, when will it end? When will bombs stop? But even then, what comes next is uncertain. A ceasefire gives breathing space, some hostages may be exchanged, some aid may enter, but borders remain closed, crossings restricted. Reconstruction plans exist only on paper or in pledges of foreign governments. The people wait for promises, but often see only rubble, dust, debris, broken concrete. Hope remains fragile but persistent. Even in the worst nights, children draw pictures, mothers cook what little they have, families share stories of better days, aid. Workers risk their lives bringing food, medicine, psychological counseling. Sometimes temporary schools open under tents. Sometimes there is laughter small, trembling between sobs. The future demands justice, not just reconstruction. Many Gazans demand not just relief but recognition. Recognition of their suffering, of their rights, accountability for destruction, safe passage, long-term guarantee that their children will not grow in shelters, that water will flow clean, electricity will be steady, that doctors can operate without fear, that schools will stand not just as ruins. When the bombs finally stop, silence will not mean peace. The grief will echo. There will be memorials with no names. Children will still ask where someone is. Parents will still count empty chairs at dinner. The war will leave generations wounded in body and mind. The landscape will shift, but the memory of what was lost will remain imprinted. So when you see images of destroyed buildings or starving children, remember, behind every statistic is a human life. When you post about Gaza, when you share stories, when you demand attention, you are not just witnessing suffering, you are amplifying survival. Like, share, and subscribe so the world never turns away. Let the voices of Gaza matter beyond the bombs. Here's a question to leave with you. If the world can stop the bombs, what will it do to stop the slow death of hope?